Good evening, good evening. Hopefully everybody is doing okay. I know this isn't the usual day that I do a show, but we had some things come up yesterday, so I did not run live yesterday, so hopefully this is running live. It looks like it's fine on my end. I see a few people in house. I didn't know how many would be on today, Black Friday and a bunch of other stuff going on. We have people in town, some folks I haven't seen, relatives I haven't seen since I was a child, somebody I grew up with for the two of them I grew up with for like 10 years of my life. My mom babysat them. Long story short, anyway, yesterday was kind of rekindling old friendships and things. So we had a pretty good day yesterday. Things have been going good. We do have a topic today. I don't want to just make this a light video because there's a lot going on and a lot of opportunity right this. We can hear you. Good. I know once or twice before I've messed that up, so I'll call out some names in a minute here. I do want to cover the topic at hand. Before we go any farther, again, thanks everybody for all the kind support, the feedback, the likes, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff is appreciated on the channel. Yesterday was a pretty good holiday. Hopefully everybody else had a pretty nice holiday yesterday. Had some snow even late last night. So again, I want to thank everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying at least some of this. I did throw a video up yesterday talking about sales. If you ran some sales, I would imagine you saw something like we did. We had some really good sales in the last couple days. This month is top notch. I don't have any complaints about sales for this month. Last month, totally different story with the update, but running a bunch of different things constantly back and forth and running stuff for a couple days and then restarting and stopping and things like sales and things like that have been working extremely well to draw people into our store. Now, Cyber Monday, even if you assume that Cyber Monday is for like all the big companies and everything like that, eBay has stuff where vendors are selling name brands, national companies, corporations have items on eBay, obviously, that are running all kinds of sales. eBay's got stuff, Amazon. I would honestly recommend getting in on the game and running some sales. We've run them in the past every year. The last 3 or 4 years. They've done extremely well. This year we're being a little more aggressive because the sales are coming in quite well right now. I want to take advantage of that. And we're still falling in our same sales range, so I'm not losing any money by doing it. I do a 3x with most of the items that we've marked down. Right now, what was the percentage? Like 59% of our store, I think, is the percentage we figured out, is on sale right now. Anywhere from 10% all the way up to, we did 48%. I think it was 48.5 or something like that. Wasn't quite 50, which is what we anticipated on doing on some of the older items and stuff. I did a bunch of different sales so I could kind of whittle up which items go this way, which items go that way. Some items I priced $19.99. Nothing under $19.99 would go on sale, and only up to a certain point would go on sale as well. I did a whole bunch of different sales in different categories, and I'm going to judge how they worked this year versus how they worked last year. I can tell you from just the day's sales that I've seen, they're up this year sales-wise. More people are still shopping for so many different reasons online. The cyber deals are probably better in most cases than actually going into a physical store. At least for me they are. When I hunt down, I would never go into... I haven't been into a store on a Thanksgiving or Black Friday, and I'm going back to when I lived in D.C. area, Washington, D.C. I can't think of a time I've went to any of those sales at all. If I can find it cheap, I find it cheap throughout the year, and I don't buy much stuff anyway for ourselves. I don't need anything. I don't really care about all the fancy bells and whistles on really anything. So run some sales. Figure out what would be a good point for your store. I've got enough high value, like almost 50% off, to bring them in. So I can literally say up to 50% or up to 48, whatever the percentage was we ran at, 48.5 I think it was. So I can literally say up to 48+% off on select items and the whole works. When you do a sale on eBay and people watch your store, they can get a notice that says, hey, this item's on sale, that item's on sale. So in some cases, when I run a sale on certain items, I get stuff right off the bat. I mean, very, very quickly, quicker than it even pretty much propagated out on eBay's side. Because if you run a sale, it doesn't go immediate. Even if you click start right away, and let's say you're running a sale on 10,000 items, I think the one we measured, I was trying to see how long it took for them to roll out. It took almost an hour for it to get to the very last item being on sale. You could see it started, I think in the first 10, 15 minutes, 6,000 or so items were on sale. Then it hit 10,000 like almost an hour later. No problem. It says it could take up to 12 hours. So, I know it kind of staggers them and things like that too. So if you've never run a sale, again, I would honestly recommend doing it for Cyber Monday. I would have done it through this whole time if I was you. Now, our sales, they're running from last evening. Some ended on Thursday morning. Some of them I actually show you how to do the sales in a video from just this week. So if you need to know how to do it, go back and watch one of my videos. Just from the last 7 days is a video on doing it. But we'll start and stop them all the time now. You only have to have a sale running for one full day, 24 hours. So you can run one for any 24 hours you want. You can run them for 2 days, 3 days, whatever the case may be. The one thing I do, though, as I said, is make sure they start immediately is the one option. A lot of people don't realize that there's a timer and it won't start right away. When I'm sitting down and doing them, I try to do them at the same time. Usually I start them in the evening after 6 o'clock. I base it on drive home and the more people online and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather just have it running peak times during this season. Now, even if you're not selling something, NOS, new old stock or new items, or you're not a wholesaler or retail arbitrage or something like that, the vintage stuff, people are going to go online. They're going to be looking for new stuff or whatever, gifts and stuff for people. If you're a store they've dealt with, or you're a store that has even a couple of something in there, it could be enough to get them into your store and see all the other sales going on. I do run sales constantly, and I'm always happy with the results. I'm not running sales to get the immediate sale from the actual activity of sales. I want the offers to watchers. That's really what I want, is the offers to watchers, because that allows me to be in control of the situation. I do a certain percentage of a markdown sale. I've got a big cushion in there between what I want to get for something and what my list price is. And even where my line is for what I want to get for something, I don't have anything into it. So literally I could go way down and still be fine. I could sell probably every item in my store for $5, probably 95% of them, and make money. So it's not so much that. I'm just, if you lower your values down in your store, just trying to, sell a couple more or something, your perceived value is going to crash. Antiques, collectibles don't work that way. I don't price things cheap, again, because 10-15% of what I sell sells at the list price. Whether it's 3 times what it should go for or what, 10-15% of everything I sell goes for that price. I have no problem shipping a couple less items than someone else because I'm not doing as much work, but I'm getting more money on my return from it by keeping my prices in a certain structure. Again, I'm old school. If you don't know antiques and collectibles, you haven't been in the business for a long time. Antique malls aren't sitting there trying to quibble and lower the price and just run cheap sales and everything. It just doesn't work that way for vintage and collectibles. So you either know it or you don't. And if you've done this for a while, you'll kind of get the gist on it. Again, I wouldn't price stuff at the price you want to get for anything, unless it's a piece of clothing that everybody knows what it goes for, or there's 100 of them online, or there's a base to be able to tell, it doesn't go for that much, Vintage and collectibles are a whole nother world, which is most of what I share. Once in a while I share other things, but very rarely. But anyway, let's hop in and see who is here. Sales yesterday were good, as I said. Sales today have been even better than yesterday. My sales, I had a gap of like 8 hours where I wasn't running any sales. I didn't time it perfectly. You can time it by the hour. And just remember, it's not your time, it's CA time is usually what they're running by. Hey Nancy, how are you doing? I'm happy today because I sold a lithograph for $270 plus shipping this morning. Nice way to start off the day. Very good, very good. We had, usually when I'm running sales like this, if I start them in the evening, by the time they roll out, I'm in bed. well, by the time, stuff starts rolling in usually. And usually when I wake up in the morning, just again, hundreds of dollars in sales by the time morning is. So overnight, stuff's just selling. So I'm always happy with that. Again, I'm not sure if you listed a sale or anything else like that, Nancy, but good for you. Very, very good. If it's framed, I do have a video. I think you've seen it. I think you've said before, Nancy. Again, I do appreciate that. For those in Patreon, there will be a video up this weekend. I'm going to try and get it up tomorrow, but worst case scenario, it will be up Sunday. Let's see, my schedule for this coming up week could be a little different, as could the Christmas schedule that I have. I just wanted to call those few things out. I'll call it a guidebook, it's back from legal, so other than just some corrections, we will have one. I'm hoping to rush it out and have it before Christmas this year. Patrons, you'll have first look at the thing too, and first options. But Tommy Z, how are you doing? Tommy Z in the house. Michelle, how's Michelle doing? Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday as well. Again, today's a good day to run a sale. Now, I think people will have been out shopping a little bit today, but the evening, my sale has started to tick up around 6:30 my time here. And if you track them throughout the day, you can kind of guesstimate where you should be at any given hour through your day. I do projections, and I can pretty much guesstimate. I still have, what would that be? Let's see here, for 8 more hours. I go by CA time because a large chunk of what we sell, 30, 40, 50% sometimes comes from the West Coast area or any states west of us. So, I've got 7 more hours, at least good hours of sales through today. And I'm at, my top peak high level right now in sales for the day. So I can't complain at all. Now, I know everybody doesn't have that situation. I've tried to leverage what we're doing the best we can. I've been working our store every single day since the 20th, and I mean hard working it, changing this, changing that, bopping titles. I've been taking photos. Again, some of my folks aren't working right now. They've got holidays and things like that. So I've taken photos. I've listed some toy batches, some toy bunches, costumes. I've been listing a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got a whole bunch of real cool stuff going up. By tomorrow morning, I'll have like another 50 lots that I just photographed just this morning. Just random stuff, nothing super. I'm spending like an hour and a half a day myself throwing some listings on besides other stuff that I do. So this is a good time. This is a good time for it. I'm not sourcing at all. I've talked about that too. I'm not sourcing for a single solitary thing in the real world right now, unless it walks across, my lap. I did pick up another diary, and I do have a little video I'm going to shoot out on that one. I think it's from maybe it was from 26, but the person who, well, I won't surprise, I'll leave that as a surprise, because if you're a sports fan, it was a really cool diary. I'm not a sports fan, but either way, it was really cool. Hey, Marty, Jiminy Flip It, how are you doing this evening? Hopefully you had a good one, as well as Michelle and the rest of you folks. Artie Mike in the house, too. Big Deals General Store, well, how are you doing? General Store always reminds me of the old-timey days. Going, or even in Mississippi, you'll still see some signs that say General Store on the outside of some of the old downtown grocery stores, even hard goods stores. Pam England, how are you doing? Disgruntled Octopus. Morning. I think you're a little off unless you're somewhere other. Robert Charles Manson, how are you doing? We can hear you. I got that one. Versace Lawn Chair. How are you doing? David Norman, welcome. Thank you, David. Laura B, good evening. Welcome in. Hey, Candace, how are you doing, Candace? Good to see you in as well. I see everybody's made it through, so if anybody did go out this morning trying to cop a deal or get something this morning, hopefully you didn't get swarmed or swamped. I don't watch the news very rarely at all these days at all. It's just a waste of my time. I didn't hear anything about it, so I don't know. Usually there's been stuff on the news about some kind of riot or somebody hurt from a stampede to get a $50 savings on a TV or something. Where am I at there? Rebecca Nolan, good evening. Nicholas Tracy. Well, thank you very kindly. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving as well as everyone else. RV Butterfly, hello. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Winter Crow. Greetings from New Jersey. I have made my way to New Jersey, I think, twice. When we were up working in D.C. Through New York. I went to New York a couple times. Took the train. We went through Philadelphia and all that area up there, too. Let's see here. Cat Funk, how are you doing? Oregon. I think we got into Oregon like maybe 2 miles in. I think that's about all we managed to get up in that area. Not interested in going to Portland, though. Let's see here. What's up back at you, RV Butterfly? Let me pop down a little bit farther. Candace got her holiday weekend sales on. I honestly, sincerely, if you've got the room to play with it, you're going to get some. The worst case scenario, if you do a small sale, 10% or something, just 10%, that's all you do, you should at least be able to close to double the amount of offers to watchers you can send out. That's literally usually my bottom end. If I do a sale on like a third of my store, just a third of my store is what we were doing, my offers to watchers opportunities doubled. If I did a little more than that, they could almost triple. I've had them 4 times what I normally would get. Instead of sending 200 or 300 out a day, I could send 1,000 or more out in a couple times in the past. And that does happen if you got a bunch of stuff, the sales are right, your items are good, things like that. But Big Deals General Store. Well, thank you very kindly. I do appreciate the comments. I sincerely do, honestly. Julian Zolkowski. I grew up with somebody named Zolkowski. Same spelling in the whole works. He was actually the best man at our wedding, actually. Thank you very kindly as well. The Aussie Hustler. Disgruntled Octopus, you must be from Australia, would be my guess. Duncan's usually talking about going to get pizza in the morning. Matt Price, how are you doing, Matt? Hopefully all is well. Sent out 450 coupons, just learned how to do it. So I did it, ran a sale, doing sell similar. Hopefully that's working for you, Nicholas Tracy. I did honestly stop messing with the coupons. The only coupon option that I see works is if you do it where everybody can see and it's just posted. I've had other people tell me that. In fact, I think one of my Patreons said something about that too. I have tried that version in the past. If I run a sale, I don't want to do the coupon. That's the only reason I don't do the coupons, and I just pretty much stop. If I'm going to do a sale, it's either a sale or a coupon in my book. It depends on the coupon, I guess. If you set something up like you're going to do a sale that, you buy 3 items, free shipping or something like that, you could still then do like a 10% off coupon. You got to work it in there where it makes sense. I wouldn't do like a 10% coupon and then a 20% sale. I'd just do a 30% sale because it would look better. A 30% sale looks like it's bigger percentage off, and they may not pay attention or notice the coupons in my thought. I've played around with, man, if there was something I could do and play around, I can easily just block off 1,000 listings, 5,000 listings, and only touch a 1/6 of my store where it's not really going to do any harm and see what happens. I can mix them up and do, a couple hundred from one category, a couple hundred from another, or like-to-like items and see what happens. 1,000 8x10 movie photos from 70s and 80s versus another 1,000 that I don't do the sale on. In the same store, same numbering system, same visuals, same title scheme, same everything, same list time frame, the whole works, and I can, judge a difference. I can even run them in one store versus another store because we have more than one store. So there's a lot of things you can do like that and test out what works. I don't like to do the coupon at the same time. If it works for you and you've got it figured in there, that's great, honestly. At least that's my experience. If let's say you want to do a 10% off on items, or say a 30% off on items over, say, $50, as long as you've got that leeway and that playroom, you can do a coupon for free shipping on the light items anyway. You can set it up to only qualify for certain items or whatever the case may be, or something along that line. Hey, Craig, Landshark Picker in the house. How you doing? Another fellow YouTuber there. Someone who I have done some stuff with in the past. He's a real good guy. Check his channel out, too, if you get a chance. We've yapped it back and forth for quite some time. I think it's been a couple years since I've done a video. Maybe one of these days we'll have to pop together and do something else. Michelle Sanborn, how are you doing? There's Duncan. I'm running 20% off, but collectors prefer to pay my full asking price. I don't have any issues with anybody wanting a discount. Now, another question I get all the time, on when I send offers out is, do you allow counter offers? I do. I honestly do. Even if I don't accept them, here's how you approach it. If somebody says, well, you're not going to accept a counter offer on something like that, on like an offer to a watcher, I accept them. I look at them at least. I'll allow them to send one in. If I'm doing a 20% off on an item that I've got marked up 3 times what it should be, let's say I've got a $100 item, I'm going to mark 20% off that $100 item. I want to get $33 out of that item. So if I mark 20% off, I can still go down considerably with a counter offer from that person and still make over what the mark is. 3XYs is based on what a lot of other people sell items for. And I hate to say this, and this is in no disrespect to anybody, because this was me a few years ago, but if somebody looks up a price on Terapeak, and I've said this, God, I don't know how many times, if somebody looks up a price on Terapeak and sees 2 or 3 selling in the same price range, they're going to assume that's all it's worth. And that's just a totally wrong assumption. Usually what happens is a lot of people that are selling the stuff on eBay in general aren't real super pros in the area. They're using other people's data to judge what they should list the item for. Now, I use some people's data, but lately I've sold so many stuff myself that I use my own data. I don't have to worry anymore on a lot of stuff we sell, at least the routine, the same old stuff and postcards and photos and stuff. I don't have to worry. I know what I want. I do list them higher. But if people are following what they see on eBay's, like Terapeak, you see 3 of something that's sold all in the same price range, that's all you're going to assume. Most people assume. You might be missing something, and you're just following suit with the last 3 people. First person listed one. He had no idea what to list it for. He lists whatever it is for $10. Second person finds the same item outsourcing. He sees that somebody just sold it for $10. Ooh, $10, I'll put it up for $12, $15. He may take an offer then $10, so it's still selling in that couple dollar range difference. Third person does the exact same thing. I'm the guy who's going to come along, instead of looking at their $10, $12 sales, I'm going to put $37.50 on it and be done with it. And then go from there. And that's not even honestly really overpricing things. I'm just using the old school way. If you go to an antique mall, the prices that I use are based on my long time experience for going to antique malls and stuff for the last 30 years. My wife and I used to go antique shopping constantly. I mean, right after we met, when I was barely out of being a teenager. So, where are we at now? Yeah, Cyber Monday is going to be the idea. Where'd I go to? Bogwan Mercari. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Mercari, but I've had some people warn me about this and that, and I'm still hesitant. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I'm more worried about sinking inventory than anything else. I'm not really worried about, expenses or anything else like that, or even the policy on, you got to, feedback, the money's yours and all that stuff. I can even deal with that. It's just I want to sync. I want that auto sync. Anything that doesn't auto sync my items between stores or platforms, I don't want to use anymore. I don't care if it holds me back for a little while, because I'll get it and then I'll be done and I'll never have to worry about it again. Shopify is still the way I'm going. I'm going to do it right and be done with it. That's, I guess, the point here. Kelly W., running a sale myself. Sales are a little slow, but hopefully that they will pick up between now and Christmas. Dylan Moore, I just explained 3X. Again, it depends on quantity. I will have to say, one thing, if you're a smaller store and you've never been, even if you've been through fourth quarter, Christmas time on eBay, I start bombing everything I can list. The beginning of summer, before even fall, I just start cramming. I don't slow down listing, and by the time summer's over, I want to just be listing everything I can for third quarter. I don't want to have to buy. I don't want to be wasting time picking up stuff. I don't want to be wasting time with any other stuff in my aspect. I just want to list as much inventory as I can possibly get up. Good inventory. Don't just list stuff to list it, but good inventory. The most amount of things I can list before Christmas starts, before we get into fourth quarter. Before October 1st, I want to have as much stuff going on. Again, I don't source at all hardly anymore right now. The prices are higher. There's less stuff out there. There's more competition. Source through the summer. Buy it all when it's cheap. Save yourself the trouble, and then just bomb as many listings as you can physically get up. 10, 12-hour days I've done doing stuff like that. Either that or pricing for other folks, sorting, pricing, setting up stuff for people to photo, setting up stuff for people to scan, or whatever we're doing that day. That's the biggest, I guess, productive use of your time in third and fourth quarter. That's what most businesses are doing. They're beefing up. They're figuring out their fall, their winter, I guess, store set, you would say. And that's what I do. That's my honest best recommendation. Source all you can when it's cheap, and don't worry about sourcing in the winter months, would be my opinion. Up here, there isn't much to source in the winter month. There's a few flea markets indoors and things like that, which are still cool. I still like to go to them. I've got videos from a year or two ago of me going to some of them. I'm not big on taking the camera these days out. I've got vision issues, and I just like to go somewhere and be done these days. And I don't know. That's just me. But I did shoot some video the other day, just FYI. Out in public, out somewhere sourcing. Let me pop out. I know I ramble a lot. Yeah, there's Landshark. Craig hollered that out too. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. No, that's not 3x. Let me explain a little better. 3x is not 3 times my investment. Now I know people do that. I'm sorry, I totally mixed that up. What you typed in there. If it sells for $10, most people get $10 for something. I want 3 times that, so I'm going to put $30 on that same item. It depends on what it is. If it's vintage, I would say probably 70% of the folks out there that are in vintage are doing it for a money aspect. They don't know it. They don't understand a lot of the items they sell. It's money. And they're pricing it their best ability they can. And that was me, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So there's no disrespect, but I'm old school, man. I go way back. We had antiques. We had antique booths and antique malls 25 years ago. My uncle was an antique dealer when I was 7, so I've been in antique stores since I was probably 7. Old school, I pay $1 for most items, and no exaggeration. Most items are like $1 or less bought in bulk these days. Again, that's why you see a lot of the same type of items, because I can get those in bulk, and they're items that have value. I mean, I can buy 5,000 buttons, 5,000 records, 5,000 postcards, 5,000 movie stills, trade cards, comic books, 5,000. In fact, we got a huge action figure and toy figure lot, almost 5,000 not too long ago. That's it for me. I like to buy the big, huge, massive bulk, and that's again, I don't have that much into almost anything I sell. I would never spend $10 on a card to only get 30 back. That's just me. Again, I don't need to worry about that. If it's something I really like and I want the image, I may pay $10 on it to do something with the image and then sell the card later, which I do. I get bored with something and then I get rid of it. It's just the way it works. Here in Oz, eBay, a managed payment gave me a payout on Saturday. They must be drunk. I don't know if they're drunk, but where are we at, Candace? I also added an announcement on my About page in my store. I have 77 watchers building a following. Very good, very good. If it flips, it ships. How are you doing this evening? Lots of eBay glitches drive me nuts now. I noticed the visit shop missing off some of my items, and schedule link on hub is broken. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I haven't seen anything in the hub that's been an issue as of late. I'm still having the listing errors where you go to hit list and it does it's not you, it's us, and I hate that because you've got to do everything all over again. Hey, aloha from Hawaii. Well, how are you doing? Saying 2.5 hours on hold for an issue on eBay. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, who knows? I don't know what the level of is on eBay. I've been away from the home in office for yesterday and today, so I don't think we got but a couple dozen items up that somebody else listed. I don't think any more than that yesterday. I'm going to list after tonight. I know it's still late, but I'm probably going to list for 2 or 3 hours tonight before I call it quits. I got up late today, too, which is weird for me. I didn't get up till like 9. It was nice to sleep in for once in my life. Is anyone else having the sound putting off and coming back on? I would say I don't see that coming up. Yeah, there's Duncan with pizza time. I don't mind anchovies, but I hate pineapple. I mean, I hate pineapple on pizza. I love pineapple in real life. Yeah, their customer service is no good compared to what it used to be. Put your price up 50%, then offer discount. I don't raise my prices like just to do a discount. I never do that. I literally have the same prices all the time. I use the same price structure. If you are doing, 3x or even 2x or something on your store, and then all of a sudden you want to just start lowering prices, it's not going to look good for the ones who are following you. They're going to feel like it's going to crush your perceived value aspect. It's going to crush part of your whole structure of your business. All my items are priced, comparably, everything. And I got like 30,000 plus listings. They're all priced in the same structure. If you went in, you'd know without a doubt, looking at the way my listings, my titles, my images, the pricing are all like similar. Everything's kind of the same. Whatever the item is. It doesn't really matter the item in my book. Michael Sandboard, thanks for running a sale information. Yeah, no problem. Again, I do have a video showing how to do that from just this past week. So if you go back a couple of days, you're going to be able to find the video, and it'll show you step by step by step how to do the entire thing. So, no big deal on that one there. Just scored another $80 off stuff and several bolos. Semper Fi 1918, how are you doing? Flipping ain't easy. And let me pop down. I have my dogs running around. Go on. Go on. Go on. Oh, I got hair floating on. Hate it. Love the dogs, but hate the hair. Yellow Brick Road Reselling, how are you doing? Doing it wrong. Well, that's no good. Sales have been great for me all week. Yeah, I can't complain, honestly. Yeah, I picked I got a Christmas background today, honestly. I was playing around with stuff, and that's what I came up with. Aussie Hustler. Welcome for your first time in. I don't usually do a show on Friday, but yesterday we had relatives, and it's two cousins that I grew up with for 10 years of my life. I think I spent 6 out of 7 days with them for most of the day, like till school was out. My mom babysat. We sat all summer with them. I know them very well, or I did. Dylan Moore, I'm just starting out online selling. Would doing discounts be smart since I don't have any sales? Well, I've sold on OfferUp for years, but I'm trying to get with shipping on Mercari. I don't know how Mercari works on sales at all. I have no idea on that. I wouldn't want to respond and give you bad information. I could only guesstimate on that. I have looked into the basics and all that. I do have a account. I did sign up. We do have an account. I haven't done anything with it yet. That's just me. I haven't had the time to dig into it. If you're on eBay and you're new to eBay, I would still put stuff on sale. I would do it on any platform if it's an option. Just do it wisely. Don't go underneath what you want to get out of the item. Set a price where you have a little bit of room to play. If your price is right where you want it, you can't do offers anyway. Just don't do offers if you can't take an offer. If I'm trying to find something and I want to put an offer on something, and I offer $10 off and they won't even budge on like a $200 item or something, that's just wasting my time. If it's a $30 item and they're only willing to budge $1, that's wasting my time. Just don't even offer offers to watchers is my take on it. I do a reasonable amount off on the item. Let's talk about this for just a second there. Far too many people as well don't understand what perceived value is. If I run an item for $100 and then I do 50% off on that, to whoever's looking at that, it's a huge discount. It doesn't mean the item's worth $50 even. It doesn't mean the item was ever worth $100, or there's track record to show it would even sell at $100. It doesn't mean it won't, but the point of it is it's a perceived value. If you're only doing 5% off a $100 item, that's not a whole bunch of money. That's not going to even make me even blink an eye. I'm just going to look the other way. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And when you're pricing it so close to what it is, you have no playroom. It's either that price or you're done. And that people want to think they're getting a deal. That's what people want. There's millions of dollars spent on studying this type of thing, psychology-wise and the whole works. I've dug into it. I've taken some classes on it. I've done some studies. I've done a report, a lengthy, 14-page report on it in the past. I've looked into the data. I've read all the journals. It's what nerds like me, I guess, do. I've done that. I did that in college as well. There's a whole thought to this. There's a reason why even a store out there, you got to know that, like, if you're buying a toy action figure or something, there's like even landed cost. The landed cost, the cost it takes to land it here in this country, an action figure, for example, a $20 action figure, landing costs may be like $3 total, all in. You may have $1 or $2 in transportation, and that landing cost includes the cost of goods, your COGS for that item. So you might have, by the time it hits the store, there may be $6 max. It's probably not even that much. It's probably like $4.10 or something like that, max into the item. So they can put it up $19.99 in the store. All the other toys are priced that, so it's not going to look odd. All the other toys, the price margin's somewhere in that range. The landed cost, store delivered cost, the whole works, all in that same price range. I worked retail. This is something you got to know, and so if they put it on sale at $9.99, half off, a lot of times they're still making a profit on it. It's perceived value. That's why people go, wow, it's $9.99, but the actual cost into the item may only be $1. The amount into the item is not the issue. The issue is, again, perceived value. If you price all your items the same price, they're all cheaper items. You're bare bones right at what they might sell for. You're not worrying about it. You might price a few under what they might sell for to move some stuff out. That's just racing to the bottom. You're not creating you're going to run into challenges. You're not creating the buffer zones you need for messing up or doing something stupid or anything else like that. I could sell items and pay for the return on them, resell them again, and still make a real good profit. The return cost, even though I do free return shipping for anything, is a drop in the bucket. Usually it's nothing. I mean, it's a couple dollars, and I don't almost never have a return on anything at all. Good photos, good details, mark and describe every little irritating detail you can find, and you'll be done with it. If there's a little pinhole, list that there's a pinhole. Good images show it all, like paper. I sell stuff that's hard to just to say that you didn't show it right. They're big blow ups, 600 DPIs usually. They're bigger than life, whatever I show usually, and that helps limit the amount of returns you get. Plus, collectors know what they want. It's not like they got to try it on. It's not like they're going to wear it for 2 weeks and then send it back to you and say they didn't like the way it fit out in public in the rain or something, and it comes back all messed up. I hear that all the time. I'd probably, if I read everything I get, there's probably every day a couple people send me something like that. Renting clothing. I hear that all the time these days. Hey, Swamp Picker, how are you doing this evening? Welcome in. Ping G, I just sold a Thanksgiving Day plush. I guess the buyer is planning ahead for next year. I would just roll it into Christmas. Christmas, probably people are still thinking about it. If it's Thanksgiving or food or turkey or something, you can carry it over to Christmas, would be my guess. Maybe they want it for decoration for Christmas or something, or a centerpiece. I sell stuff, probably that would be more geared towards a cornucopia, Thanksgiving cornucopia. In fact, I just sold a postcard that someone's going to cut up and do something with. It's just a generic postcard. They spent good money on it, but for an art project. You got to think of stuff like that. With shipping, too, I've been saying this. A lot of people don't think that may be the case, but I really feel that you got to get them in now. This Cyber Monday is going to be a big, huge push, because I think a lot of people are just going to be done shopping as soon as they can, and not want to be in the crowds and all the other stuff. I think there's a good chunk of population that's going to do that. There'll be a big group that travels and does all the other junk, too, but it's going to be slower in some areas, again, because of shipment time. Collectibles wise, I think will still be fairly good, just because collectors will be sitting around, have some more time off. I think the sales should be fairly good. Key dates you need to look at for what's going on, why sales might be better certain times. Look at when college gets out, because you've got 10-15% of the population maybe in a school somewhere, out of town, showing up back home, or leisure time. College, I think, is out here Finals week is the week of the 12th, so college should be out, I think, by the 15th or 16th. Grade school, high school, I think the last day is the 20th or 21st nationwide, somewhere in that range. I think that's pretty darn close. So kind of judge on that stuff too. You know, if it's college-wise, you can kind of judge a lot of stuff through the end of the year. You can judge on what's going to be hot going back to school stuff for, next session starts in January. Again, there's a big opportunity to get merchandise, cheap or free merchandise from colleges after the session ends, too. End of year is usually the best because the professors are going to be gone out of their office. They usually clean it up before they go for their Christmas vacation, their Christmas time off. It's the best time when the professors put out the free books on tables at colleges and campuses. It's the time I always find stuff. I know I don't source, but I'm out there sometimes on a routine basis with the kids or talking to somebody, a professor or something, asking for help with something or helping somebody else out there. So I do get out to University of Toledo quite often. I don't mind the campus at all. I have fond memories of the university. So, and I still talk to some professors. David Rubino, how are you doing? Good to see you back in too. I have one review on sale on there. ETC hosts, how are you doing this evening? No rant today, ETC hosts. Sales are pretty good, not because of eBay, but because we've been just hammering the store. The more action you do on the store, the better. Now, don't just list 5, 10, 100, whatever you can list in a day, just to get it up if it's not good stuff. I would rather not list something because it's not the best items than rush something up. Because if you're going to rush it up, you're going to have time invested into it. When it's up, it's just, long tail items from that point on, a lot of that junk, and it may never sell. So, don't list anything if it's not good stuff. Versace lawn chair. Yeah, I'm not a sports guy at all. I was on the cross country for high school, and I did play baseball for a few years. I was fine. I can catch and throw the ball and run around the bases. It just didn't do anything for me, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't go. I've been to Daytona 500 we sat on the fence. I thought that was cool, but we were only there for like an hour. It was neat standing by the gates. It's about the only sports, I'm not a big fan of anything else. I can skate. I can roller skate and ice skate, but hang on just a second here. I'm going to leave the diarrhea a mystery. Gridley, you're Miller. I'm sure I butchered that. Sorry. I actually shot something. You'll get to see at least up close what it is, and I'm going to compare it to the other one I just showed you too. I do very well on vintage diaries. I really do. And it's something, again, people say you don't find. I got 5 I found in probably the last 4 weeks. So if that's not enough, that equates to what, 60 a year. Come on, that's enough when you can make $100 a piece possibly on a good diary. 100 times 60, you do the math. That's a pretty easy one to do there. Ralph Funk, down, put some inventory at 50% off today to clear out some things. Wanted to sell 11 sales so far from these items. The sales do work. And again, even if you don't get the sale or the items sold from the actual sale itself, the offers to watchers are far more valuable, in my opinion, than anything else. And let's talk about those as well, too. Offers to watchers are time sensitive. They're always time sensitive. An offer that sits there any longer than it has to could disappear on you. You could see where it says you've got 5 people that may be interested in it, that shows up when you click on the offers to watch, just getting ready to send it out, and it only goes to one person. Everybody else, right? The offers to watchers is a game, a fighting game, because you need to be able to get to those people before someone else does. If someone else sends them a bunch, let's say one guy's watching or gal is watching 10 of your items. They looked at 10 different items. They're a collector. They're all in the same category. I had somebody look at like 20 roller skating labels. I only sold one to the person, which is fine. But they looked at 20. I did get one out of them. And somebody else, they're looking at something else in somebody else's store. If somebody else has the opportunity to send a whole bunch of offers to watchers to them too, because there's other sellers who have 100 or so or better roller skating labels, and they send them out first, this person's going to just get swamped with whatever they have. I'm not going to be able to send any to them. So sending offers to watchers, don't wait all day to do it. If you've got 5 sitting there, send out those 5. If you come back in 30 or 40 minutes and you've got another 5 there, send out those 5. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying working your store. Man, I hammer the store. That store is, I know every inch of my store these days. I know my items. I know where they fall in the chain of auto recycling for relists and everything. I know my items. I go through them enough. I know where if a number's in my title, which is where all my bin numbers are, I can instantly tell where it's at and structure, how long ago I listed it, so I can judge. I have that information stored as well, but knowing your store and hammering your store. I honestly hammer the store. That's all we're doing right now. Anything I can do. A couple photos here, a couple titles there. Throw in a couple recommended item specifics. Do 100 here, 100 there. Download the file and put a bunch in. Upload it and then do some more on another day. I'll re-download the exact same file, 6,000 or whatever it is, and I'll just keep popping them in randomly, whatever I can knock out of the way real quick. That's what I do. That's all part of hammering your store and doing anything you can to get some action on there. Another big thing, getting to those who email you and ask a question as quickly as you can. If they ask you something on something that another vendor has, and the other vendor answers them before you do, you just might have lost that sale because you didn't want to hop on that. You blew it off as someone just wasting your time. Even if only 25% of the items that I have questions that I answer buys it, I'm fine with that, because that's 25% more, or that's whatever the percentage of sales it is. That's more than I would have had I not answered a couple simpleton questions. The worst question I've had, and this is nothing, I was going to grab it. So I have a Fort Knox yearbook from, I think, 54, 55. I bought it because my dad went there. He did basic training in Fort Knox for sharpshooter or whatever it was, and I've been there as a child. My dad took us there too, and I met some people, an officer he knew, and a few other things when we were in Kentucky. And somebody asked me for a last name check. That's the worst question I've had, and that's nothing. It took me 2 minutes to dig the book out, and maybe a minute and a half, 3-4 minutes max to answer that person's question. The names weren't in there. Oh well, no big deal. I buy things because maybe my dad was pictured in it. Or if I run into another one, I would definitely buy it if I couldn't get to look through it. I didn't have the time, or it was $1 just to see. Yearbooks usually sell well. If somebody ever asks you on a yearbook and you don't answer the question, you could lose that sale. There's other items too, but the yearbook is probably one of the biggest examples of make sure you answer the question. I've had people ask me questions on a magazine. Is this article in there? Is this in there? Is that in there? I always look. Because in many cases, if it's a magazine, there may be a second part to a series. They've got another one. They want the complete story. So I always look at magazines the same way also. And probably at least 50% of the time, if the article or what they're looking for is in there, more than that probably, they're going to buy it. It's such an obscure thing they're asking for. Why would they waste my time thinking of some screw? They'd have to know the magazine just to even realize something like that would be in there. So that's why I say answer your email messages and questions as quickly as you can. Again, this all ties to getting everything going. That's action in your store, answering people's questions. Probably eBay could ding you for not responding. On Amazon, if you don't answer within a certain length of time, it doesn't look good, as everybody should know. Just like you want eBay to answer you in a timely manner if they say they'll be with you in so many hours or whatever the case may be. You want them to answer. I always try to do the same thing. That's one of the few things I do use my phone for is answering stuff like that. In fact, I've got sales that have just popped into my phone, literally right. Well, now you can't see it, but let's see what we got. And this is just from the last few minutes. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so I sold a $12 item in the last couple minutes, and it was paid for. It just happened, so that's not bad. Here's another one. So I've got two. I've got a total of two sales in 20 minutes or so. I'm fine with that. Let me see here. Thank you, Tommy. So yeah, if you're enjoying the conversation, please hit that thumbs up. I have over 200 people in the house. We've got 83 thumbs up right now. If you've noticed too, there's no thumbs down button that's visible anymore. So, I'm fine either way, but it's just nice not to have those haters here. They're just wasting their time. So, in all honesty too, from the back side of this, it doesn't hurt you at all if you're getting thumbs down. In fact, I would have to say that if you've got at least a certain percentage of thumbs down, it creates controversy and you actually get a little boost when it goes either way. Because a thumbs down doesn't mean they hate the video or they hate you. It just means the topic wasn't of interest, or there's a ton of different reasons people hit thumbs down. I know there's a lot of trolls though, but if it flips, it ships. Found a tin full of buttons. Love buttons. I was literally, I should say playing, but I was literally messing with some buttons right now. I was just getting ready to list some. They're probably not showing up, but I probably list buttons every day of the week. I probably been getting a shipment of buttons in at least once or twice a week. On average, we list 200 or 300 probably a week, any given week. Again, I rotate what we list these days. I'd never try to list. In the past, I would spend like days, a whole straight week, one person would just list one solid thing all the time. It does seem to give you a better result if you list 50 items in one category, 50 items in another category, because it shows action in more than just one specific category. And once you get somebody in from one category, somebody from in another, it creates like a little buzz from what I personally see. Again, I try to look at the data. eBay gives you some data, but there's better data, in my opinion. You can dwell from somewhere else, in all honesty. AK6781 fan, how are you doing? 6781 fan, I know I kind of said that screwy. Let's see here. Yeah, hit the like button. I do appreciate it. And we got to over 100 on the likes. Thank you, doing it wrong. I appreciate it. That's good. Well, and thank you as well, AK6781 fan. Thank you very kindly. Barbary Ann Kung Fu, how are you doing? Interesting name. I went to Walmart for boxes to ship prints. Your method from your video, and it is not crowded. We are in. It's an online holiday scene, I say. Again, that's what I've been trying to say. I personally think that this whole time frame here, this whole weekend here, is going to be all about a lot of online. I didn't go out at all. I couldn't even tell you what the traffic looked like out there. It didn't look like a whole bunch from what I could see looking down the street or anything, but I'm not a big person. I never do Black Friday. I never do any Thanksgiving gotta get a deal or anything else like that. At least you got backing in and everything else too. Two Glassy Sisters, we're running a sale, still slow for some reason, still listing daily, etc. I would, if your sales aren't still coming in, I would start to go through your listings, find better keywords, check your photos. Even if you say move your first image with your second image instead, just flip images around, you can get a little bit of a boost if the second image is still a decent image. Your main image is tied to a different spot from where your information is stored. If you're let me put it this way, there's 3 key foundation aspects to any listing, and I've said this a million times: your title, your price, and your photo. If you change one of those aspects, eBay is going to do some stuff and recalculate and figure stuff out. It's a given. And when you change the photos in there, whether it's from the second, third, fourth, let's say you got 12 photos, you can just rotate those photos around and get some action. There's only one photo that hangs with the framework of your listing, and that's the main image number 1. The rest of them are stored somewhere else. And we know that is 100% true because when eBay lost all the photos, the connection was broken. eBay, when they relisted a whole bunch of listings on a couple days, June a few years back, they lost like 90 million sellers' photos, some horrendously high, awful number and everything else like that. We still have some with only one photo because of that, and this is years ago. I just wasn't worth all my time to go in. If somebody asked for more photos, I fix it then. But we know that's how they store it. All the photos but one are stored with the main information. So if you're moving a photo from the server to your main structure of the listing, it's got to do something. It shows action between there. It shows a new photo for the main image. So it's not stuck to it. Changing a word in your title can do something. Adding a word. Moving them around. Changing the category that the listing is in is another thing that far too many people underrate. A lot of the items that I sell have cross-category interest, which means theoretically I could market them to 2, 3, 4, even 5 different people, 5 different markets, 5 different categories for the same item. What would be a good example of that? A real photo picture postcard of, say, the King of England or something from 1920s or 30s. It's a real photo postcard. You might have somebody collects it there. Royalty collectors. It might be a Banforth or some major named Raphael Tuck postcard. There's people who just want Raphael Tuck postcards. So that's a third reason somebody could want it. You know, there could be some postage or cancellation on the back for some oddball reason from like a royal event or something on it. You know, coronation backmark or stamp or something. So there could be many reasons why one item would be interesting to several different people. I never pay for listing in 2 different categories. I would far rather let the item run in one category for a month or 2 and then switch it to the other category and vice versa. What's even better, let's say I'm listing 50 items that could go in 2 different categories. 25 go in one category, 25 go in the other, in both listings, in the description box, or condition box, even better, the condition box. I have many more items up in my store, similar, or whatever the case may be. So it doesn't even matter what category they're in. They can just go to your store, search your store for that keyword, whatever the item is, and they're going to show up either way. You want them in your store. So if you ever have items, similar items than what you're showing in any listing, you state that. If you have 100 of something in there, state I have many more items in the same category. Every listing, all that little description box, your condition box, both of them should state things like that. Should state, I have many more up in my store right now. Check out my store. Always happy to give a discount when you buy more than one item. Whatever you want. Tell them any piece of information that you can think that you would want to know that would make you want to buy from somebody. Offering a discount for buying multiple items is always a good thing. Especially if you're like me, and I know a lot of folks, there's a lot of names in here I do recognize that sell similar items. If you're selling in collectible fields, you probably have a bunch more than just one item in each collectible category. I've got tens of thousands in some categories of the same exact type of item, just different variants like comic books. You could have 100,000 comic books and each one be different, but they're still comic books. A comic book collector may not just collect one title of anything, they may collect multiple titles. So, you want to let them know any step you can, just like in your store, making sure that you put your family business and you'll do what you can to make everybody happy. You're there for the customers and all that kind of stuff. That has to be there. It literally should, have some sort of information in your description box or somewhere in each and every listing. It's free advertising. To a lot of people, your store is just eBay. It may not be specialized. You need to make it specialized. Your store, check this out, check that out. I've got this, I've got that. That's what you need to do. It's marketing. Hang on, I think it looks like Mickey Mo, how are you doing? Well, thank you very, very, very kindly. I'm glad it helped you, the channel. Again, I try to put out good content. I do get dogged on for what people don't understand or, hate and stuff a lot. If I'm putting something out here and I feel it's a concern, I really feel it's a concern. I could honestly say I don't do the house is on fire kind of videos or this is the end of the world. I say it how I see it. I'm very blunt. I don't really care if things offend some people because things are like that. You've got to just say it, like my thoughts on what's going to happen with sales and stuff. That's what I see. That's how I do it. But I thank you very kindly, Mickey Mo. Interesting name as well. Let me see where are we at now. I don't know how to get that. Now it's frozen up on my screen. There we go. Thanks again, Mickey Mo. Let me see here. Where are we at? Let me pop on down. I know I went off on another tangent. Doing it to do that end listing sell similar. You got to be I'm not doing it right now. We've done every item, I think, up to the 12th of October has been sold or sell similar. Every single item, almost 30,000 items. We've done that too. I ran the sales. I'm running the sales right now, and I want to see if it dies off from not doing self-similar constantly. I'm only going to let it run till the end of the month. When this weekend's over, we're going to start back to self-similar. But I stopped it just for what we do it. Wednesday, we didn't do it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday are the days we're not doing it. Just because I've got sales running all over the place, and I don't want to keep starting and stopping the sales because I'm garnering the interest. I'm garnering what I want off of those. And sales-wise are doing fine. If I wait to do self-similar, I'm still going to get the results from it, but I don't need to be pushing extra right now in that aspect of it because I'm going to kill my sales. When I sell similar, none of those items are on sale anymore. And because of my structure 3X and my markup and all that, I've got to have... Again, I'm banking on the sales versus the self-similar just in this time frame. Wednesday through, say Cyber Monday. Cyber Tuesday, if they're technically going to call it that too. Where am I at? Let's see, where are we at? Flipping ain't easy. 5% sales combined with the 5% public coupon. The banner at the top with the public coupon helps to seal the deal, and that formula has been working well for me. That very well may be the case. To me, 5% and 5% wouldn't be enough for me to want to go in there and do it, truthfully. Again, I do mark up higher than a lot of people, so, it depends on what you got. If you're only marking up 20%, 10% off still gives you a good return on it. So it all depends on your specific store. There is no technically wrong or right way for your specific store. It depends on what you're selling. I have far too many people tell me they heard this video or heard that or whatever, and this is how you're supposed to do it. Any video that's telling you there's only their way, change the channel. Put them away. Don't listen to them anymore. Every store is different. There is I promise you, no universal way for every store to be the same. It's just not possible. So what works for somebody may not work for you, even if you're selling the same items. Title and keyword, there's just, unless you're copying everything from somebody else, then you don't really know anything. You just copy everybody else's crap, and if they're wrong, you're going to be wrong. And that just doesn't work in my book. Know your items, know your things, know what a good keyword is, know that if you put this word in a title, you always sell it quicker. Know that if you put this word in the title, it sells for more. I mean, these are things that you will learn over time, and you got to pay attention to them. Flipping ain't easy, though. That very well could work. Again, I can't say what everybody's selling. I know what works for me. I don't try to do them both together unless it's like one's offering free shipping and the other one you got to buy so many or something. Coupon is too complicated. I like sales, offers to watchers, combined shipping, small gifts to heavy hitters, multiple purchases like 3, 5, 8 pieces. Yeah, I love the multis too. Maybe I think I have a video on the coupon if I'm not mistaken. If not, I'll try and throw one together. There's nothing wrong with doing the coupon. Again, I try to mix them up. The only one that I do say that works, just as Flippin' Ain't Easy is saying, is the one that actually shows you all the time. Everybody can see it. Now, if you want to do a 50% off or 45% off, you could easily do a 35% off sale and then a 10% off coupon or something. And that would be the same basic effect, in all honesty. And, maybe they'll forget to use the coupon or something and you'll still get the full sale out. Who knows? Big G Money Talks ran a sale about a week ago. I have a few days left and have over 125 sales just from the sale items, not counting my other listings. Quarter force, kicking butt, and taking names. Again, I'm happy with this month. Last month was terrible from the 12th on, but this month we're top notch. I can't complain. I'm doing peak, biggest season sales right now over last year's at the same time frame. So I'm fine. I'm very happy with the sales. Now, there's one caveat with that. I'm doing twice as much work on my store as I did last year for the exact same basic principle. I didn't have to do all this extra junk. It just sold the same way. I did a sale here, did a sale there. I wasn't going through every listing and trying to do this and fix that. So it's not the same, but I'm okay with it. Everything changes. If it means I've got to put more work in somewhere else, again, I take eBay as a game, and I want to beat them at their own game. So if they're going to try and hide me or stagnate my sales, I'm going to figure a way to get them back in, and that's the whole goal. You want to better eBay. You want to take advantage of some loophole or something that they are not doing something about, like self-similar. People have talked, well, if they know where everybody's doing it, they're going to cut it off. But if you call, I've had people tell me from eBay that they've been told, hey, self-similar from eBay. If that's the case, they know it. They've added that feature in for a reason, I would say. Saturday morning in Australia. So, yep, I figured you're Australia, as I said. Seller slang, okay. Cat Funk, I'm grateful to live out in the country. Portland used to be one of the most livable cities. It's a mess. Yeah, the crime rate, I think, is my biggest. I'm disgusted with what I saw, and I'm not trying to be political at all, with the whole California, that 80 people running into that store. Some of them had Mercedes-Benz and BMWs and stuff like that were doing these crimes. That's just sober. I wouldn't want to even be out in the shopping area and anywhere that. I wouldn't want any dealings with all that stuff. Being a person who owns their own business, that's bothersome, because a couple of the businesses that were robbed were small-time people that can't afford to be robbed twice a month, and some of them were robbed of every item on display, some of those smaller stores. That's why I say a lot of this is on the news, whether you're in a big town or small town, and a lot of people are worried between that and the catalytic converter thefts and parking your car and all these other concerns. I really think it's driving more and more people beyond what COVID has to online purchases. And a lot of the folks who were hesitant in the past to buy stuff and worried online and stuff are realizing that it's actually not so bad. Amazon at least covers you. eBay covers, for the most part, most buyers. Again, I'd rather have the buyer covered in most cases, as long as eBay is being fair about it, than me in some cases, because the buyers buy our stuff. I want them to understand that it's a safe environment to purchase from us. And I think people are finally realizing it. Older folks who wouldn't want to, look up and use card numbers and things online are realizing it. It's a totally different. This has forced people to buy other ways, and I don't think they're going back to how it used to be, in my opinion. I think everybody's going to realize, who's hopped on the bandwagon to buy online, again, that this is easy, it's simple, and most of the times it's cheaper, and you don't have to go anywhere and deal with idiots. And that's all I can say. I look at it from that aspect of it. That's where I'm basing some assumptions as to how busy it will be, online. And this weekend's supposed to be the busiest. I've talked about it for more than a week now. We've set up some plans. We thought about what we're going to do. We brainstormed here. 4 of us talked. We decided what was going to be the best route to do it, and the sales were it. And it's been proven to do what it needs to do. On average, $100 a day could easily be brought in from running a decent sale. Not a day, an hour, I'm sorry. An hour, every hour is possible, depending on what you're selling, of course. Your sales markdown numbers and things like that. I sell a couple $100 overnight every night of the week, and that's fine with me. And those are the hours where you're not getting peak sales. You're getting those people who got home from work at 1 a.m. and they're gonna look. I can't when I worked till like 3 a.m. when I closed Applebee's and the restaurants. When you're working a bar and the bar doesn't close till 1, it's 2 hours to get out of there. By the time the kitchen's clean and the building's all clean, you've got to clean hoods and all kinds of things. Nobody realizes that who doesn't work in a restaurant usually, and those are the folks that are going to be buying the stuff at the middle of the night like that and stuff. And those are a small percentage of our sales are the overnight sales, and those are hundreds. So I don't have any complaints on right now with it. I know who our partner we're working eBay. I don't trust them any farther than I could throw eBay, but I'm happy with what's going on now with sales. I'm not happy with the structure and all, but I can't complain this month. I'm pretty happy, honestly. We've done some huge investments on 2 different things just this month, and money-wise is rolling back in, and it won't even be an issue. And by the time end of December rolls in, the money will all be back in, either that or quicker than that. So I'm fine. It's always good to have a nice cushion in the bank anyway, which we always do. Where are we at? I don't mind living out in the country either. I've lived in the country in Mississippi for quite some time. I loved it. We lived on 60 acres, and it was just very enjoyable. No neighbors to bother me. We could do what we wanted. We did fireworks anytime we wanted to because we were out in the country and ordinance. There was no code for, time frame, and the neighbors were, geez, eighth of a mile away, maybe the closest one. Let's see where we at. Dylan Moore, man, I'm so lost, and I'm ex-military, but I'm starting to learn every single niche has its own language. Yeah, I'm not. If there's certain words you're looking for, I don't. There's a lot of lingo. I guess there would be. NOS is one of the ones I hear asked all the time. What does NOS stand for? NOS is new old stock. The next one I hear questions asked, MOC. What's MOC stand for? Mint on card. That's MOC. IOAK, one of a kind. BOLO, be on the lookout for. Those are the main ones that I usually have questions on. Nothing wrong. No, there's no stupid question. You're not going to know until you start out into anything. So, again, if you're enjoying the video, please hit that thumbs up. I've got 256 people in house, 129 likes as of now. So if you are enjoying the conversation, please slam that thumbs up button for us. Let's see here. Worth point is worth its weight in gold for slow movers. I've heard back and forth on worth point. I don't have a worth point, truthfully. I know a lot of items. I do pay for like Pop Psych and stuff like that. My dog's back down here. I'm sorry, but I do pay for Pop Psych, and there's a few other sites I use that I can get some free information. Well, more than a few, but there's a lot of auction sites I can get ended listings on. More like auction houses, and I use those more so. It's hit and miss in worth point with some items. Again, it might be worth it depending on what you sell, but I personally don't use it. Where are we at? David Norman. Lots of pricing authorities are way off. Those estimates for my house on Zillow was $205. I sold it without an agent for 6 and 8 months. Zillow had some major scam thing going on. They've been hit. They're stuck with a whole bunch of houses. They could crash and be non-existent if they keep going when they're out there going, if you haven't seen that. They're underwater in like a third of their houses because they kept trying to jack up. They were buying houses to intentionally try and jack up the market. And that's, again, perfect. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing there, David, or anything else like that. But for the company to be doing that, marking up a house without any investment, the next day after they buy it, pretty much adding extra $100,000 on just to try and market. And they were buying up so many houses that it raised the prices in whole neighborhoods because of just them buying up so many houses. Candace, you and me on prices. My rule is what the market will bear. I'm fine. Whatever the market will bear is what I will put on there, too. That's why I would rather charge some high price to start off with and go from there. 10 to 15% of my high prices I get. 10 to 15%. So if the item's only worth, or selling by somebody else a third of that, I'm selling the equivalent of 3 of their items each time I do that. And that's 10 or 15% of everything I sell goes for some on the list price range. So there's a rhyme and a reason to it. It's not just, I'm just going to throw some price out there. And a lot of the items that I price that high in the past have been that high, Thank you, Winter Crow. Appreciate the call for hit the thumbs up. Dylan Moore, Mercari doesn't auto sync. There's an application in Shopify to auto sync. That's what I've been told by several people. I just haven't dug into it yet. If that is the case, that is the route we will be taking. With InkFrog Shopify, I can sync eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, Amazon, and HIP. When HIP gets their stuff together, their act together. Right now, I don't know what's going on with HIP. They still haven't got the sync right, but all that stuff pretty much syncs up through Shopify. There is a Discogs app, from what I understand, too, which would hook them all together. So Shopify is, next year, Shopify is our landing pad. Everything goes to Shopify first, and then eBay, or then anywhere it goes. That'll stop eBay from killing the syncs. It might not go to eBay if they kill the sync, but at least it'll be everywhere I want it to be too, besides that. We're still fighting back and forth with that, but yeah, the sync isn't going to come, Dylan, more from Mercari itself. It's going to come from you using some other application, like we tried Cellbrite for a while too. Nothing wrong with it, just too much junk I didn't need. Too much of a learning curve. Well, thank you very kindly, Flippin' Ain't Easy. I do honestly appreciate that. Well, thank you. Nobody has to agree with what I say. That's definitely the case. I don't agree with a lot of what other people say in the reseller world. Too many people, in my book, think there's only their way or no way, and that's just not the case. Every store is different, and it's almost aggravating sometimes when somebody is watching another video and then comes to me. It happens all the time, and it's not offensive. I'm not bothered by it at all. If you watch with somebody else and you want to do what they do, it's your call. I don't care. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all if you don't do what I'm doing or what I show. I don't care. I'm giving you what works for me in the hopes that maybe you can get something out of the information. If that's just the way it is. But, people come to me and say, this person gets this. I'm like, well, what are they selling? And it's something totally different than what they're selling. I'm like, you've got to be talking like to like. You can't be talking apples and oranges and expect to get the same situation out, or expect to want to follow something that's not your store. It doesn't mimic what you're doing. It doesn't make any sense when I see stuff like that. Again, anyway, Flipping It Easy, thank you very kindly again for that. Hang on just a second, where are we at? Worth point is about useless if you're selling fast-moving stuff, but priceless if you're selling stuff like antiques and late vintage and other slow-moving things. Let's see here. Hockey God 98, my eBay sales died in October and have stayed dead, but I've been having a lot of success on Facebook Marketplace. Items I couldn't give away on eBay have sold in under 24 hours. Well, very good. I'm not a big fan. We had a big market storefront with Facebook. I just don't like the shipping, and I'm not feeling it. And I don't want. My wife uses our personal account for talking to family, and we've got family and friends in the military, and some of them are in Guam right now. And I don't want to be putting personal. I don't try to promote anything I sell to anybody who's family and friends like that either. I know you can get kickbacks with affiliate links, and I don't do any of that. I don't even put my store name and number, my name and information here on any of my videos. It's in some of them, so if you watch my videos, you can easily see my store, but I don't post it. I don't have a link. I'm not trying to get you to buy my stuff. To me, I don't know. I'm not a big marketer on there, and most people aren't going to want to buy most of what I sell unless you're a collector. Anyway, nothing wrong if that's what you do. It's just not me. Let's see here. Holly Armstrong, I saw mostly ornaments and lots of thrift store here only put out at Christmas time. That's a different story. I understand that too. I didn't go this year, and I didn't go at all this year for either one of these things. But there's a couple of thrift stores, smaller ones, like Ma and Pa ones, and out of the way, and like some junky old buildings that most people don't know are even there. There's a couple that even run like the first and second Tuesday of the month, or first and third Tuesday of the month, 4 hours in the morning. There's a couple around here like that, and one of them's in a retirement community. You've got it in it. They're like it's like a giant nursing home structure, but inside there's one building twice a month that has a 4-hour open window that has some really good stuff in there. Those are the type of places that I love for that sort of thing. And I usually try to get there because they do the exact same thing. Before Halloween, they put out the Halloween like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of time. And sometimes I've run into paper mache 1920s and 30s Halloween stuff for a couple bucks. Again, because they don't know any better. They don't look it up. They're old-timey folks, and they're just doing it for extra money for some of the events that they do there, for some of the retirees and some of the community people who live. It's a living community, and they're a bunch of separate, like, I don't know, maybe like a townhouse setup. And this is one of the ones around here. And they don't even have a sign by the street, so unless you know it's there, you wouldn't even know about it, honestly. Maybe it's in the phone book, but I haven't looked in a phone book, and God, I don't even know if we have a phone book anymore. I do love Christmas ornaments, though. I've got a big, huge assortment of vintage ones. Dylan Moore, I've been debating just trying to liquidate everything, starting with all new inventory, because it's overwhelming with the thousands of items I have that aren't listed anywhere. Well, listing them, that's what you need to do. I wouldn't be saying let's switch out inventory. If you've got bulk inventory, list it in bulk lots. Sell some in lots. You'll get bigger profit from one listing, so you'll spend less time and you'll still get some good money out of it. If it's good items you have, start listing them. Don't buy anything else until you get some of those sold, would be my personal take on it. If it's good material. If it's not good material, put it together in a big lot and separate it or something and take it to one of your local auctions and auction it off. Have them sell it for you. When we can't sell it or it's not worth selling on eBay, I usually get pretty decent money selling it at the local antique auction. Get a table there. They don't charge you to sell your stuff. They want the money, the commission fees and stuff off of it. So, and they're some of them dying to get merchandise to auction off right now. So I've had pretty good luck with that. If I don't sell it on eBay and I want to bulk it out, I usually can do it just that way. I don't have to put a listing together, and I can just bulk out big bulk lots of records. I've sold 5,000 and 10,000 record, disc record lots. Last one was 45s and was almost 10,000 that we sold, all at one time. I got good money out of it. I picked out all what I wanted. I made money before I ever, me auctioning off the 10,000 records was just getting rid of the junk. That's what happens. We're going to end it off in just a few minutes here. Where are we at? Let's see, 30% coupon plus sell somewhere equals 18,000 Canadian in past 30 days, 20% increase. We have over 15,000 items. Good to hear, good to hear. Sell similar in combination. That's what I'm saying. We're hammering it by doing multiple different things throughout. Now, I'm not selling similar on the items that I have on sale, though, as I said. So think about what you're doing before you do it, I guess, is the biggest point. If you do something and it doesn't work, do something different the next time. Try something else. There's no harm in doing both at the same time, as long as you do it correctly and you're thinking about how much you're actually giving out. Where's your price at? If you've got free shipping included into it, you better darn well know that and pay attention. Especially if you do partial free shipping and partial, with charge shipping. If you do both, you might mix up which ones are which. You give a 50% off sale. By the time you do the 50% off sale and you add in shipping, you may not be making anything. That's one of the mistakes you can make when you do stuff like this. So I just be careful. That's, I think, the biggest thing is to be careful with it. Understand, where your prices range. Understand how much playroom you have in there. Every retail establishment in this country has a buffer zone so they can mark stuff down. Some of them have such a high markup on the items, they only have to sell 10% of their merchandise to make a good profit, and then the rest they could blow out if they really wanted to. There's a lot of businesses that could do that. We're going to end it. I said I would only do an hour. I know I'm well over that, but anyway, we have some folks coming over in just a little while here, so I'm going to cut it off here. I tried to get through as much as I could going through there. I don't know where we stand on stuff, but if you are enjoying the conversation, you enjoyed tonight's show, I got 253 people in house, 173 likes. Slap that like button there if you enjoyed it. Anyway, I will let you all go. I hope you enjoy the rest of this weekend. If you didn't do a sale, you never did a sale before, you're not paying attention that Cyber Monday is Monday the 29th, pay attention to it. Do something with it. Take advantage of all the other big corporations that are running Cyber Monday sales throughout this weekend, mind you. Black Friday is still going on. You still have time to put stuff on sale right now. People are still off work through Monday. This is a good time to run a sale. Probably one of the best times this year right now to run a sale is right this minute. So, and I seriously feel that's the case. This isn't me just trying to get you to do some. I really feel that's the case based on my personal experience and my personal sales. You know, just make sure your structure is able to handle it. But again, I thank you all very kindly. Again, one last time, slam that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'm going to let you all go. Enjoy the rest of your evening.